Hi guys, I'm going to be continuing to read from the book Psych-K, The Missing Piece in Your Life, and I'm simultaneously going to be streaming on bigo.com. So in the future, if you want to follow me on there, you can watch the actual live streams and we can, communicate that way on the live format. Otherwise, I'm just going to jump right in here. Okay. The Psych-K permission protocols mentioned earlier clarify your intention and make the necessary distinctions to ensure you are addressing that intention to the appropriate level of mind to accomplish the task at hand. Without the clarity, you are subject to the well-known pitfalls of the familiar computer metaphor, garbage in, garbage out. These are just some of the most important characteristics of Psych-K that maintain the integrity and safety of the process and represent important differences from many other personal change processes. The step-by-step written instructions and personal training offered in the Psych-K workshops are all you need to utilize the change processes safely and successfully. And one final point, Psych-K is a vehicle for change. It's like a car. It doesn't decide where you should go. It just gets you there. In other words, Psych-K doesn't choose what you should believe. It helps you believe what you choose. Chapter 8. Real people, real results. Miracles are natural. When they do not occur, something has gone wrong. A Course in Miracles. Where the rubber meets the road. The following examples represent a small number of the testimonial letters I have received over the years. I selected a variety of examples in which Psych-K made positive changes in people's lives. These examples will give you an appreciation for the broad application of Psych-K in daily life. As you will see, changing subconscious beliefs changes lives. Winning the 10-year battle with weight. February 28, 2001. Excerpted from an email I received from a Psych-K workshop participant. Good morning, Rob. I should share with you some of my personal success. After a 10-year battle with weight, I have lost 25 pounds. I truly believe that the core belief balance, which identified that I hated myself, and we reversed, is what has enabled me to finally start the process of weight loss. I really have a much stronger feel of confidence as well. Additionally, I continue to coach using Psych-K, and one of my clients recently reported that she is feeling stronger, more confident, and doesn't have the wild mood swings at work anymore. She finally believes that she's not responsible for everything that happens at work, and others need to be responsible for their own jobs. She was really a mother hen at work and wanted to fix everyone's problems, which created more work, stress, and anxiety for her, which she took out on others. Now she isn't doing that anymore. Stay well and all the best to you. Monica Legrand Trundle, Vice President, Peak Performance Associates, Incorporated. Dramatically improved sports performance, April 24, 1996. I was scheduled to speak at a local high school and, as an afterthought, was invited to spend 45 minutes with the track team. I gave them a 20-minute lecture on beliefs and limitation and then did a demonstration of Psych-K using one of their sprinters who was having trouble getting out of the blocks. He was noticeably improved in just minutes, and that got the rest of the team's attention. All I had time to teach them was how to muscle test their beliefs about winning and how to do the whole brain posture. At the next meet 2 days later, they broke 15 out of 22 school records, one state record, and a 16-year-old national girls high school relay record by 5 seconds. Psych-K is clearly the most amazing tool for effective personal change I have ever encountered. Gary B. Smith, B.S., former president of Colorado Association of Psychotherapists. This stuff really works. In 1992, I attended a conference put on by the American Society for Training and Development, or ASTD. While I was there, I attended a demonstration on Psych-K, conducted by Rob Williams, in which he invited a woman from the audience to come on stage and then did a belief change balance with her. I was sitting toward the back of the hall and was a bit frustrated because I could not see clearly, but I was really impressed with what I could observe of the process. Could this stuff really work? Later, when I returned to the hotel, I decided to duplicate what I could remember of what I had seen on stage earlier. What harm could it do? I worked with balancing an issue of my own. Of course, afterwards, I have no way of verifying whether I had done it correctly or not, so I just went to sleep and forgot about it. The next day was the last half day of the conference, followed by a meeting of the training officers in my organization. During the meeting, I noticed that I was getting a different, more favorable reaction from the other participants in the meeting. What was happening here? Then I realized that the issue I had balanced for, which had to do with my communication in meetings, had really changed. I was doing something different and getting a different reaction. This stuff really works. Naturally, I was really motivated to learn more. I called Rob Williams to get more information about the training available and attended the basic and advanced Psych-K classes. I also sponsored Psych-K classes in my organization so others could learn about this powerful and effective process. Then a few years ago, when the opportunity presented itself, I took the instructor training and was fortunate enough to be certified as a Psych-K basic instructor. Mary Wise, Government Training Officer, San Francisco, California. Freed from 50 years of fear. Hold on, guys. I'm just seeing it. I wanted to see. We're about 50% of the way through the book. Okay. Freed from 50 years of fear. September 1, 2000. A woman in her late 60s came to my office suffering from over 50 years of agoraphobia, fear of open spaces. She had such a severe case that she had rarely gone more than a few miles from her home for the last 50 years. Only once was she able to use sheer willpower and some medications. Other forms of psychotherapies and counseling had been used to no avail. This woman came to me not long after I had taken the advanced course in Psych-K. Given her long history, I had very little belief that this would be able to help her, but at least I knew it would do no harm. My lack of belief was exceeded only by her conviction that this would be of little value, and she could not understand how something so remote from dealing with the direct biochemical cause of this disorder could be helpful. We changed a number of belief systems to deal with self-esteem, dealing with some old thought patterns that she had, and then began to work on being comfortable, relaxed, and calm while riding in a car. Shortly thereafter, she was able to go for 10 miles away from her home, which in itself was a record. About a week later, she took a trip out in the eastern plains of Colorado, which in general was a trigger for severe panic and agoraphobia symptoms, given all the open space. There was an underlying trauma that seemed to have precipitated this disorder, and that when she was a child traveling across country with her mother, due to some misbehavior on her part, her mother made her get out of the car and threatened to drive away. The mother did in fact drive a short distance away, to the terror of the child. This trauma seems also to have been overcome through the Psych-K process. This result certainly underscores not only the effectiveness of Psych-K when the recipient is disbelieving, but also when the practitioner has little reason to believe that it would work. Ron B. Minson, MD, psychiatrist, Denver, Colorado. Full recovery, November 20, 2001. It has been almost 2 months since the Psych-K workshop, but this is the first time I've had some quiet time to write to you. The main reason I wanted to write you is to thank you for what happened to me during the conference, especially during the core belief balance. I had not thought I would ever fully recover from the brain aneurysms, but since that weekend my life has been in full recovery. I think better, I remember better, I take in greater sequential information. I don't worry, in spite of losses of money and devastations to this country. I feel whole and fully functional, happy, cheerful, and free of negative thought for the first time in 20 years. I had been previously diagnosed with severe post-traumatic stress syndrome, and all effects of that disorder disappeared during that amazing core belief work. No one but God has known or understand the level of sheer survival I had existed on the edge of for most of my life. I had existed on the edge of I know that Heavenly Father led me to this work in order for this wonderful change to take place, according to the law of restoration as mentioned in Scripture. Most sincerely, Judith Long, Salt Lake City, Utah. Coincidence? I think not. September 22, 2001. An email from a post-workshop practice session participant sent to others in her practice group. I just wanted to let everyone know that I have once again experienced a profound change in my life and attitude about life. Some might call it a coincidence, but I do not believe that. This time it happened immediately after participating in my first Psych-K practice session at the Green Hills Library. Last time it was immediately after taking the Psych-K class. In an effort to stay brief, I'll just say that since taking the class, I had allowed life to slowly overwhelm me with too many things pulling in different directions. Practicing and utilizing Psych-K suffered. The events since September 11, 2001 World Trade Center terrorist attack have had me feeling so confused, lost, depressed, and certainly missing any sense of enthusiasm for my future or the ability to make any type of contribution to the world. Most of all, I just haven't been able to feel much of a connection to God or the universe, which is my main goal in life. Feeling that connection allows me to feel like I am on the right path and being divinely guided. I had let that slip away, but September 11th certainly emphasized how much I was missing it. There are so many things that happened on Friday after attending Thursday PM. Something always seems to get lost in translation when you attempt to share personal spiritual experiences. I know better than to try to do it through an email. I do want to say that I have felt such a bond with my source of divine guidance. It has been as if my thoughts and questions have been answered or acted on almost before I am aware of them. I have felt such strong prompting to do or not do things, and then the reason has become very apparent. Easiest to explain is that I feel a renewed enthusiasm for life and a sense of purpose. I've hardly been able to drag myself out of bed, and yet on Thursday, I jumped up with a real sense of direction. Things fell into place, and I couldn't wait to start my Friday. Oh, hi, Shazad. Guys, if you're just joining the stream right now, I'm reading from the book Psych-K, The Missing Piece in Your Life. Is it a coincidence that the big change came again after my involvement with Psych-K? I absolutely know that it was not. Asking which statements from the colored sheets I needed to balance for, I was given, I am whole, complete, connected, and loved by God, and I have all the energy I need to accomplish my goals and fulfill my desires. I believe that those were pieces of my foundation that were missing at this particular time. They certainly rang true as I read the statements. I knew that I would test weak as I heard this little voice saying, yeah, right. One last thing which I will mention in an attempt to explain just one of those little things which unfolded yesterday to strengthen that feeling of being connected. These are the types of things that feel like you had to be there to really understand. But when they happen, it touches something at a very deep level that impacts you. I found myself staring at a bookshelf with a feeling that there was something there that I needed at the time. I felt attracted to a book called What My Dog Has Taught Me About Life. I opened it to a page that said, Almighty God, cancel my fears. I don't ever want to miss what you have in store for my life. It sent chills down my spine. I flipped through the book in curiosity, and it was the only statement of its kind that I came across. Only I can understand how badly I needed to hold that thought and how exciting it was to see it in print. Oh, I'm good, Shazad. Thanks for asking. The book I'm reading is called Psych-K, The Missing Piece in Your Life. My point, I wonder what my life holds for me if I don't let this invaluable tool slip away again. I know that I have to do the work, but it helps me feel whole, balanced, and supported in my efforts. We have to trust the process. I wholeheartedly believe it works. If there is anything I can do to encourage anyone, let me know, and I would be happy to help. I really think it can help us get our lives on the right track, which helps get the world on track. God bless America and Psych-K. Terry Rose, Nashville, Tennessee. The Carpet Layer and the Cat. This story comes from my personal experience and took place in September of 1995. I was planning to be married the following month. My fiancé and I were doing some remodeling of the house we would soon share. The project that day was having outdoor carpet installed on the back patio. The carpet layer arrived about 9 a.m. to begin the job. As we walked toward his van, I spent a few minutes talking with him about logistics and timing. As we talked, he asked if I had any pets. I told him we had a 13-year-old cat, but I was sure she wouldn't be a problem. His response startled me. He became agitated and nervous. He said he had a fear of cats and couldn't do the work if the cat wasn't locked in the house. I told him that wouldn't be a problem. I returned to the house and explained to my fiancé that the installer had an extreme fear of cats and that we would need to lock the cat inside for the afternoon. She was uncomfortable having to restrict the cat to the house for the several hours it would take to complete the work. That posed a problem. I explained that it was the only way to get the carpet installed. Then it happened. I got the look from her, and she said, well, why don't you fix the guy? Absolutely not, I said. I don't know this guy. He's just here to lay some carpet. This isn't an office visit. Her look persisted. The silence was deafening. So I proceeded to walk out to the installer's van and broach the subject with him. He was wedged in the back of his van, pushing this formidable roll of carpet toward me as I stood in the street behind the van. I grabbed the roll at my end to give him a hand and casually asked him if he would like to get over his fear of cats. There was a long, awkward pause. Finally, he said, what are you, some kind of shrink or something? I replied that I did some work that could help people with fears like this, and that it would probably take only a few minutes if he was interested. He asked a few more questions about the process. And before I knew it, we were in the backyard doing some muscle testing regarding his fear of cats. He filled me in on the horrific childhood trauma that created the fear, and we proceeded to do a Psych-K balance to relieve his discomfort. About 10 minutes later, we were finished. I explained that my fiancé and I needed to run some errands. He asked if he could use our house phone if he needed to while we were gone. I said, oh yes, of course. I left the back door unlocked and we went away for a couple of hours. When we returned, I went into the backyard to see how things were progressing. The installer came rushing toward me with a real sense of urgency. I immediately thought something terrible had happened. I asked him what was wrong. He said, I can't believe it. I went in the house to make a call, and while I was holding the phone with one hand, I realized I was petting the cat with the other. I was so busy talking, I didn't even notice I was doing it. He thanked me profusely for whatever I did to get him over his fear of cats, and he went back to laying the carpet. You may be surprised to know that the pattern of change I used with the carpet layer to change his phobic response to cats is one taught in the basic Psych-K workshop. These are just a few of the experiences that have been reported by people who have used Psych-K belief change techniques. As you can see from these examples alone, Psych-K can be remarkably effective when used by trained clinical therapists or just ordinary people wanting to make positive and lasting changes in their lives. How to manifest just about anything. Now that you have the basic pieces of the change puzzle, the following formula for making positive and lasting changes in your life will make sense. The process involves 4 key steps. These steps can be aptly described as cutting-edge ancient wisdom, and they represent essential components of any process of change that is consistently successful. Some of these steps can be found in the practices of meditation, prayer, affirmations, visualization, positive thinking, contemporary allopathic medicine, complementary energy medicine, many ancient healing practices, and various psychological techniques, among others. Few processes seem to contain all 4 steps. The greater number of these steps included in the change process, the more successful it is likely to be. Compare these steps to techniques you have been using and see how many are included. This comparison may give you some insight into why some processes work well and others fall short of your expectations. Oh, hi, Alu. Guys, if you're just joining the stream right now, I'm reading from the book Psych-K, The Missing Piece in Your Life. Even if you never had the opportunity to experience the Psych-K belief change processes, you will understand the ideal steps to creating beliefs that support your goals rather than sabotage them. It's a critical first step in manifesting your dreams and desires. Hold on, guys, I just want to make an edit. Give me 1 second. I want to highlight these steps for the future. If I want to come back and see them. Okay. Formula for manifestation. Intention plus intent plus meaningful ritual plus action equals manifestation. Step 1. Set intention/goal. Decide what you want. Your intention is your goal. This should be stated in the first person. Present tense, as if it were already true. Reflecting what you do want rather than what you don't want. Example, I am happy and content is better than I am not depressed. Define the goal in sensory-based language, i.e. visual, auditory, and kinesthetic language or symbols. Step 2. Check for intent. Decide whether you really want it and what the ramifications might be in your life if you get it. Intent is the emotional component of the process. It represents your desire and commitment to achieving your goal. Is it something you really want, or just a good idea? As long as you don't have to work very hard or risk much to get it. Ask yourself these questions. Is it really worth wanting? Are you emotionally invested in getting it? What sacrifices are you willing or not willing to make in order to achieve your goal? Step 3. Communicate intention to the subconscious mind. Identify a meaningful ritual, activity, or process for communication with the subconscious, such as Psych-K, prayer, visualization, affirmations, religious rite, vision quest, one of the numerous healing modalities, or special activities. Whatever you give meaning and importance to is more likely to work. The ritual will virtually always work if you can communicate directly with the subconscious mind, allowing it to select the ritual. Oh, thanks, Maya. Um, Allowing it to select the ritual rather than choosing it consciously or having the facilitator choose it. This is an important step in Psych-K. If omitted, as is the case with many well-intentioned processes for personal change, it makes the outcome much less certain. Without direct communication with the subconscious mind, you are simply guessing which approach will work to make the change you desire. This step is critical. If done properly, it will align the subconscious mind with your conscious goal, turning manifestation of your goals into a habit rather than an effort. Oh, hi, Isa. Guys, if you're coming in right now, I'm reading from the book Psych-K, The Missing Piece in Your Life. Oh, thanks, Isa. I appreciate that. Okay, step 4. Take action. Using your intent from step 2. Take actions to manifest the potential available from step 3. This step is analogous to opening an application program on your personal computer. The power of the program is merely latent potential until you activate it. So it is with newly acquired subconscious beliefs. Your subconscious mind will support rather than sabotage your conscious choice to activate the new potential. However, it still requires your conscious mind's choice to take the actions that create the results. For example, exercise to become physically fit. Or if your goal requires knowledge you do not currently possess, read books or get training in that area. Oh, thank you, Isa. I appreciate that. Changing subconscious beliefs creates potential. Putting them into action creates results. Chapter 9. Testing your subconscious beliefs. The first problem for all of us, men and women, is not to learn, but to unlearn. Gloria Steinem. What you don't know can hurt you. This is your opportunity to see whether you have self-sabotaging beliefs in any of 7 important areas of your life. These areas include self-esteem, relationships, prosperity, health and body, spirituality, personal power, and grief and loss. You can test your subconscious beliefs using the muscle testing technique described in Chapter 3. For best results, review the muscle testing section in this book or at the website at www.psych-k.com before proceeding. If you choose the website, select the Test Your Beliefs button and follow the instructions. The following beliefs are excerpted from the handout in the Psych-K Basic Workshop Training. The class handouts include a total of 175 beliefs in these 7 categories of change. This cross-section of beliefs gives you a good idea of whether you are subconsciously sabotaging yourself in these key areas of your life. Treat this activity as a process of discovery rather than blame or shame. Remember, you are about to access the part of your mind that is below the level of your conscious awareness. You could have done little about subconscious beliefs in the past, using processes that relied heavily on conscious insight and willpower alone. If you discover you are testing weak to some of the following beliefs and would like to have those beliefs included as a part of your subconscious software, rest assured it is possible. Muscle test the following belief statements. Say each statement out loud as if you really mean it. Concentrate on the feeling you get when you say the statement. Have your partner muscle test you immediately after you say the statement. Your subconscious mind responds to what you are paying attention to at the moment the muscle is being tested. Any significant delay in the test from the time the statement is made may result in an inaccurate response. Concentrate more on the statement than on the arm being tested to ensure that the response you get relates to the statement you just made and not extraneous thoughts. Notice which beliefs are strong and which are weak. This distinction will let you know which beliefs are supporting you in this area of your life and which are not. Maya asks, hold on, let me just plug in my computer real quick. I spilled lemonade on my carpet about an hour ago. Try to dry it with a towel. What else should I do? Lemonade I don't think will leave a stain. But it might make it like sticky from like sugar. So, personally I would just use like warm water to like rub it out. Um, that should do it. Um, I mean, you could do a solution of alcohol and vinegar. Oh, of course, that might like make it smell a little bit. Um, I don't know. Usually Google. If I say, okay, I spilled something, and I just type it into Google, someone has come up with a solution. I mean, I usually use alcohol and vinegar to like get most things out, but if it's just sugar and a little bit of lemon, shouldn't be too bad. Could be a lot worse. Okay, spirituality. Our scientific, no problem, Maya. Our scientific power has outrun our spiritual power. We have guided missiles and misguided men. Martin Luther King Jr. At a time in our history when the bar of integrity and ethics seems to be at a new low in our society and around the world, a growing need emerges in many people to fill a void in their lives that material possessions, fame, and power just cannot satisfy. Whether through organized religion or its various spiritual alternatives, the source for meaning in our lives has caused a heightened interest in spiritual matters. We live in a world of perpetual overwhelm. In our high-speed technological age, it is virtually impossible to feel up to speed on just about any subject or issue in our society. The sensation of being overwhelmed often leads to a crippling feeling of insecurity and uncertainty. This debilitating reality is echoed by the fact that the most popular drugs sold by major pharmaceutical companies are antidepressants, such as Prozac, and ulcer medications, such as Prilosec. Even more startling is the fact that the fastest growing market for antidepressants in the US market is children aged 12 and under. A steady diet of the evening news will convince most people that the world is a bad place and getting worse. The issues are so terrifying and widespread that any real solution seems unlikely. The sources of our anxiety come from every direction: international terrorism, urban violence, fear of economic collapse, moral decay, geological catastrophes, astronomical anomalies, biological aberrations, genetic engineering, and so on. The list seems endless. In such times, often people turn to spirituality and religion for solace, guidance, and perspective. It has been said that the only real security we can know is our ability to change our point of view. In other words, the power to survive and even thrive in this kind of seemingly hopeless environment is to expand the connection to our spiritual selves. All right. I think I'm going to end the stream right here. I am going to be doing another Ego stream later in the week where I'm going to continue reading about this. So my plan is to do it tomorrow. I need to get better at like saying, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow, and then like not showing up. But yes, my plan is to do it tomorrow, and this is going to be posted on my YouTube channel today. So look out for that. So anyway, till next time, and I will see you later in the week.